Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is So Much Sewing. So Much Sewing is all about my home sewing adventures, so I hope you are as obsessed with sewing as I am. What I'm going to talk to you about today is the Me and Miss Maude Feelgood dress. 'Tis what I am wearing. Before we get started on that though, I just want to thank everybody for all your amazing supportive comments on the Canton jacket that I made, the cashmere Canton motor jacket. Oh, look, you can even see the pattern sitting there. You guys were so lovely. It was such a hard make for me. It took me so many weeks to get it done, and you were all so generous with your lovely comments. Thank you so much. It was a mission, but I stand firm in my belief that if you are thinking about a quite a technically challenging pattern, but you just don't think you're up to it, I say give it a go, see what happens. You can always put it aside and pick it up again, which is what I did when I felt it was a bit much, or I just thought, oh, pfft. I went on and did something else and I came back to it and I eventually got it done. But anyway, yeah, up to you, of course, but if you would like to tackle something a bit that you think is a little bit above your skill base, just try it, see what happens. And the other thing I want to say is, for the last couple of videos, I've said to you guys that I'm trying to get my subscriber base up past 2,000 or up to 2,000 subscribers. And I asked if you hadn't already subscribed, if you please would hit the subscribe button. I would say that there are still almost 40% of people who are watching me who are not subscribed. If you could subscribe, that would be super duper amazing. It doesn't cost you anything. Even if you click the notification bell, it doesn't mean you get notifications to your phone pinging throughout the day. It just means that when you log into YouTube, you'll see the little bell icon up in the top right-hand corner, and it will have a red button on it, and it will just show you that you have notifications there, and you can just scroll down, pick the videos you would like to watch, hopefully one of mine. So it's not an intrusion on your life. But having said that, I am now over 2,000 subscribers. And so what difference does it make? Not a lot to the world. Probably it only makes a difference to me. It doesn't make much of a difference at all, other than the fact that it's a sense of self-satisfaction that my channel is growing. More people are viewing me, which is really, you know, when we do things in life, we try to improve and grow. And so it just shows me that I'm improving and growing. And so that's really what that's all about. But thank you so much. I did get quite a number of new subscribers, even though you've probably been watching me for a while. But anyway, so thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So on to the Feelgood dress by me and Miss Maude. I haven't taken any photos of it yet, but I will do so after my video. This is it here. I'll be careful not to move the microphone too much. I've made it in a viscose crepe. It's quite a lightweight drapey viscose crepe. So it is a very summery make. What fabrics do they say you can make it in? You can make it in anything from, the viscose crepe, cotton lawns, linen, wool, even fleece, they say. But obviously you would want to go up a size if you were making it in a heavier fabric. So I'm very happy with this. I really love the way it came out. Today I purchased a merino base layer underneath, and this is my... what's it called? It's called the Cuddle Up Cardigan by Trish Newbery, who is a New Zealand designer. So that's how I'm wearing it today. I've got some tights on underneath and my big, long, chunky boots just to keep warm, which you'll see when I take some photos. But I fully expect that this is going to be a go-to dress for me during the warmer months. And Feelgood dress, yeah, I think it's a good name for it. It's just so easy and comfortable to wear. The instructions are really good. They are really very clear, and it's quite a methodical sort of methodical step by step. I mean, that's what all instructions are, I know, but it's just, you know, the pictures are amazing, the words are good, it tells you exactly what you need to do. I think it's, you know, pretty beginner friendly. There are bust darts everywhere. There's bust darts up from the waist, and there's bust darts in at the bust. Oops, sorry if that mucked up the microphone. And there's also darts in the skirt. Let me find that picture for you. That is the bottom of the skirt there, and those are a bunch of darts to bring the bottom of the skirt in. I probably might exaggerate those a bit more in another make when I make it again, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make this again. I might accentuate those darts just to give it even more of a cocoon shape in the bottom. I think probably the way I would do that is just take a wider dart, take it to the same point, but make it wider maybe. I'll have to have a little play around that when I get to it, but that would be my plan. I'm quite short. I'm 5'2". And usually this sort of empire bust line on patterns is too long for me. I think I've got a high waist as well. And normally they're sit quite a bit too low on my body. But I did a lot of measuring before I started making this pattern. And because I wanted to make sure that empire line sat at the right place on my body, and I also wanted to make sure I was making the right size. So my bust measurement is 109 centimeters, and that puts me between an XL and a 2XL. The XL is 103 at the bust, and the 2XL is 111, so much closer to the 2XL. But I also didn't want it. I like oversized. I do like an oversized fit. I keep banging on about that. But for this dress, I thought I wanted it a little bit more fitting in the bodice, because there's plenty of room under the empire line for my jiggly tummy. So I measured it, but in the end, I decided to go with a straight 2XL. I didn't need to raise the empire line at all, and I'm pretty happy with the size. I think the size is good. I think if I was making it in a firmer fabric, because this is very drapey, if I was making it in a firmer fabric, I might consider going down in the bust, and just probably keeping the hip measure, the hip size. So I made it 2XL all over. I probably might make it XL in the bodice and a 2XL in the skirt. The pockets were a little bit too low, not much, but a little bit too low for my little arms. So next time I will just raise the pockets up a little bit as well. I thought I had enough fabric. What I was going to do was line the bodice, because there is, looking down at the pattern here, there is a facing around the neck, which I am not a huge fan of neck facings. I just, they don't always go well. This is a sort of I think she's called it a gentle V. And so, yeah, facings don't always sit well in my experience. So I was very careful not to stretch anything as I sewed it out. I understitched, and then I pressed the heck out of it. And then I did end up actually top stitching around, I don't even know if you can see, at about that point as well. So, it's great. It's not going anywhere. I didn't do quite the perfect job of making this the perfect V. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little bit off center. it is very much a gentle V, but it is a bit off center. And I think that was mostly because, you know, Visco's crepe is quite slippy to work with. It was fine. I'm not complaining about it, but it was a bit slippy, and I probably wasn't as careful here as I should have been. I did mark. She does tell you to mark the center point on your facing piece. Am I pointing to the right thing? Yeah. Yeah, she does tell you to mark the center point on your facing, just to make sure that you're sewing it in the right place. And I did do that, but maybe I wasn't quite as careful as I could have been. I've just taken my Cuddle Up cardigan off so I can show you this dress a little bit more, but I just wanted to show you that fabric, which I got from Miss Maude in New Zealand here ages and ages ago. It's a wonderful, thick, warm wool, mostly wool. There is a little bit of lurex or something in there as well. And, you know, you can see the pattern and the texture on there. I love this. This has been one of the staples in my wardrobe over the winter period. I wear it all the time, and I pair it with all sorts of things, including, as you can see, a sort of a summery, more of a summery dress. But yeah, there's the sleeves on it. They are no, not really 3/4 length, but they're low elbow. That's my elbow there. So they sit past the elbow. But actually, as I was saying before, I just got sidetracked, sorry. I wanted to line the bodice. I wanted to do a double bodice, and I thought I had enough fabric, but unfortunately it turned out that I didn't. I'm not sure why. Oh, the little white dog's gone outside. This is nothing to do with sewing whatsoever, but we've got the previous owners in this house had little dogs, and they put a dog flap in one of their doors to the outside, and our big dog, who is big, has taught herself how to go in and out of the cat flap, the little dog flap, and I've been dreading the little white dog learning how to do that, because if she gets out through that cat flap, she actually can get out of the property, and she is a bit of a wanderer. So I just saw that she had got herself out. So great. That's another little challenge for us to work our way through. But anywho, where was I going? I've completely forgotten what I was saying about lining the bodice. That's right. Didn't have enough fabric because, as I was saying earlier, I don't always like a facing, although this facing is perfectly fine. It sits nicely, especially with it being top stitched around here, so no dramas. And the other thing is you're supposed to cut the back bodice on the fold. Here's a picture of the back bodice there. It's got darts in the back bodice as well, so that's cut on the fold. But I had to actually cut it in two pieces. I don't know if you can see the seam line there, but I cut it in two pieces. I had to add a seam allowance and sew it together because I didn't have quite enough fabric. So I guess that's kind of all I really have to say about this dress. I think it's a good one. I really like this dress. This is just the kind of thing I was looking for. You guys helped me choose a pattern. I was talking about making a cocoon dress, and you guys came up with all sorts of fabulous suggestions. In fact, I'll link that video down below because there were some great suggestions that you guys came up with. I talked all about what patterns you pointed out to me in that video, so that will be linked below. And yeah, this is a great dress. It fits so nicely. And one thing I would say is if you are taller, potentially you might want to lower the empire line. The dress you'll see in the pictures that I'm sure I would have taken by now, that it is very long on me. I didn't alter the length in any way. I was worried it was going to be a little bit short because in the pictures here, you can see where it sits on, and I think this is the designer. You can see where it sits on her, but it was so much longer on me. So if you are taller and you want a longer dress, you may want to lengthen it. But on a taller person, that probably is where it sits. But yeah, so just bear that in mind. And you can see that the sleeves are shorter on her than they are on me as well. So yeah, definitely. I just love this as a short person, this pattern. How many patterns fit you right out of the packet with no adjustments? Not very many, so I'm super stoked about that. Next week, I will talk to you about that I'm making at the moment. But other than that, oh, excuse my big hand, that's me. I hope you are having an amazing day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you're at least thinking about sewing and preferably getting a lot of sewing done. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week. See you later.